If you're someone who trains and eats pretty well Monday to Friday, but you never really seem to get the results that you want, there's a very good chance that your weekends are the problem. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because no one has never taught you how to eat out with your friends without sabotaging your progress. My name is Christian and I've been coaching people for the last 12 years. And one of the most common things I see when people start working with me, whether it's for fat loss, building muscle mass, increased performance, or something else, is that their weekends is typically the culprit for their lack in results. Now, most people think that their lack in results comes down to hormones, genetics, stress, or sleep. But when we actually look at their week, Monday to Friday, they're pretty rigid, they're structured. But then the weekend comes around and it's pure chaos. You see, when the weekend comes around and you're eating meals out with your friends, like you should, typically those meals are high in calories. Maybe you even have alcohol, and potentially because you're out with your friends, you're just tracking your calories in your head. You're not actually putting it into your tracking app, causing you to most likely make big tracking mistakes. All of these things together can really cause some problems for your overall results. Remember, we're not just doing a daily calorie target, we're also doing a weekly. So you don't actually blow your progress in just one meal out on a Friday, but you blow it when it happens every single weekend. Friday, Saturday, on repeat. You ruin the hard work Monday to Friday. Now please, this doesn't mean that you cannot enjoy your weekends. I don't want you to be avoiding birthdays and friendly get-togethers, because that's not real life, and it's definitely not sustainable to not participate socially. But what has to change is awareness and strategy. So let's get into this. How to eat out without blowing your calories. Point number 1, decide before you leave. The biggest mistake people make is that they decide what they're going to eat when they sit down at the table and they are freaking starving. A hint here is that it's not going to be under 1,200 calories. So the fix here is to look up where you guys are going, look at the menu, and then pre-decide what you're going to be having before you go out. And trust me, you are always going to be making a better decision when you're sitting at home looking at a menu by yourself than when you're with your friends and everyone is having the YOLO mentality. And point number 2, this one is important. Proteins first, veggies second. Protein will keep you full and it's going to reduce your overeating. And just in general, it makes it so much harder to blow your calories out of control. You're going to burn more calories digesting protein than carbs and fat as well. And if you add veggies as a side to your protein, you're going to get potentially a lot of fiber as well, which is going to keep you even more full and give you the impression that you're having a large, big volume meal. And this leads me into point number 3, watch the hidden calories. When we order a big portion of protein, that protein is most likely cooked in some sort of fat. Now, this is not necessarily a bad thing. We just have to make sure that we take it into account. But if you look at the menu and something is described as creamy, saucy, or fried, you know there's going to be a big amount of calories hidden. And this doesn't mean that you need to sit and eat like a dusty steak or a dry piece of chicken breast. It just means that you need to know that when you order that creamy chicken breast, that you most likely have just as many calories coming from the sauce as the chicken breast itself. Awareness. Knowing this makes planning so much easier. Now let's talk about the thing that nobody wants to talk about, alcohol. Well, people want to talk about it as in, I had a great time drinking it. People don't want to talk about it as in, the reason why I'm gaining so much body fat every weekend is probably because I drink too much alcohol. And trust me, a lot of people have this issue. Let's break it down. Alcohol has 7 calories per 1 gram. It doesn't fill you up, it has no nutritional value, and as you know, it affects your decision making. That's why it's not just the alcohol in itself that's bad. Sure, it has calories, but you know what have more calories? Is the 5 burgers and Coca-Colas and God knows what you had with with your drinks going out. On top of that, your liver will literally down prioritize metabolizing all the food that you're eating because it's now busy trying to clear your body of this poison ethanol. So eating high calorie foods while you drink alcohol is literally the most perfect fat creating combo you can do. And people do this every weekend and complain about their weight gain. So this is what you need to be doing. You need to set a drinks limit. Boo-hoo, I know. But it works. You need to choose lower calorie options when you're out. A skinny bitch versus a Guinness pint. You can alternate alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. You can have a glass of water in between each of your drinks. Pfft, hey, that works. And just in generally, slow down. Most people don't need to stop drinking completely. They just need to not pass their personal threshold and get wasted. And now please remember this. You always have a choice. Before any social event, you have 3 options here, 3 choices, and none of them are wrong. Number 1, you can diet. You can stay in a deficit throughout your event. Number 2, you can maintain, meaning that you will have more calories available, but you're not expecting a fat loss. And number 3, the fan favorite, go all in. Enjoy it fully and expect the delay in your progress. Now, the mistake is not in the choice. The mistake lies in picking one and then expecting the outcome of another one. For example, you go with number 3, but you expect to be lighter 2 days later. It's just not happening. Awareness here is massive. Let's talk about another point that makes overeating 10 times easier. How quickly do you eat? And yes, I know when you hear me say that, you're going to think about something your parents told you when you were a kid. But guess what? There's something about it. You could actually be overeating calories and gaining unwanted body fat because every time you eat, let alone eating out, but every time you eat so fast that your body cannot produce your hunger hormones telling you, I'm full, because you already just inhaled 1,200 calories of that pizza. So your key habits here is going to be slow down. You're not in a rush. Learning how to recognize fullness really is a skill. And like any skill, it improves with practice. So coming to the end here, please remember this. You don't get results by focusing on results. You get results by focusing on the actions that gives results. Especially during your weekends when your structure completely disappears. If you can master these things, you can be the guy that goes out every weekend or the girl that goes out every weekend and still look and feel the way you want because you had awareness and you had structure and you were strategical. If you found this video helpful, stick around, consider subscribing. I'll be breaking down much more real life examples of how you can stay fit and overcome these social challenges that we face in society when we want to be fit and healthy, feel good, look good. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.